Hey guys, what is going on? Jurgen from Zurgrinosports here, and today we are back at it again with some more of our WWE 2K22. I'm just going to start calling it our 2K Universe mode, and you guys can piece together what fucking game we're still on. We're trying to make it through. With another episode of our 2K Universe mode series. We just had TLC on the channel. Knowing me and my schedule and how little time I have to do this, just had will be like 6 years ago. So, you know, thanks for sticking around. But yeah, so we just had TLC, and we are now building towards the Royal Rumble, like I had said in the last, not pay-per-view episode, but the episode before this. Going forward, we're just going to simulate everything, talk about the story beats, building up to the pay-per-view. We're going to play the pay-per-view like we do with the match card and everything, and me playing the matches, and then we're going to go back and forth like that to finish this game to get to Mania 39, and then we're going to hop over to 2K23. We're going to do the exact same thing to get to WrestleMania 40 in 2K23, and then we'll hop over to 2K24 and maybe do a more involved one. But again, knowing me and knowing my schedule and how little free time I have, we're probably going to end up having to skip 2024 and then go into 2025. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, dude. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it's just turns out trying to pursue pro wrestling takes up literally all your time. It's like having a second full-time job, which is what Josh Alexander said at a seminar of his. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And then, yeah. He was right. Anyways, let's get into the fucking episode, pal. Like I said, we just had TLC. Gun to my head, I could not tell you what I booked on my own show. But, I don't know. People won, people lost. Who cares? Let's jump into Raw. So we have 4 matches that we're going to show for this video's purposes. I will say right now we will have Rumble qualifiers, both men's and women's, on both Raw and SmackDown. Not every single spot in the Rumble, either Rumble, will be determined through qualifiers. Some will be random, but there is no declaring. I do not like that declaring bullshit, so fuck that, okay? Have the people qualify, and then the other spots have it be a management decision who gets in. This, hey, I'm in the Rumble bullshit has to stop. It's fucking garbage. I get that it's super easy and you can fill a promo slot with it. It sucks. Fuck that. I was hoping it would go away under Triple H, but it has not. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Okay? I really hate it. Unless it fits somebody's character to skip the line and skip the hard work of something, fuck off with that bullshit. Okay, rant aside. I'm not gonna go through the trouble of actually booking the Raw ones, the SmackDown ones, because we actually booked the show top to bottom. I have, but for Raw, just people qualify for the men's and women's Rumble. Anyways, so a couple things happening on Raw. One of them is we'll go through these matches because they're all intertwined, and then we'll go through some of the other storyline stuff, and then we'll move over to SmackDown for week 1 of January. So I guess start the show and then we'll go into it or something. I forget how I run my own fucking channel, man. Goddamn, skip that bullshit. I don't need to see that. Okay, so we have 4 matches tonight. All of them are in the same tournament. So the Raw general manager, to start the show, would announce that Finn Balor, after having won his triple threat ladder match at TLC to earn himself a number 1 contendership at the World Heavyweight title, he will be facing Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble, but it will not be a singles match. We will be having a triple threat match at the Royal Rumble, and the second contender for that triple threat match that will join Finn Balor and Roman Reigns will be determined in a tournament happening over the coming weeks, and these 4 matches are in the tournament. Cody Rhodes would probably cut a promo about finishing his stupid fucking story, and how this is another opportunity after he keeps fucking failing. What a fucking bitch, dude. I bet he dyes his hair like a loser. Anyways, I really do like Cody Rhodes. I wanted Hogan's record to not be a thing anymore, and they didn't do it, so I'm fucking salty as fuck about it, okay? For the meme. I don't really care. I do care. I don't care. Let's continue. This tournament match is Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. There is Judgment Day stuff tying into the tournament, but we'll get there in a second. The main point of the tournament, however, is that Roman Reigns would pull Sami Zayn aside backstage in his locker room, whatever, and tell him that, Sami really, really impressed not only the Bloodline, but Roman Reigns personally with his help at TLC, dealing with the Edge problem. And he said he is very, very close to making him a full member of the Bloodline. And there's one more thing that he needs Sami to do. And if he can get it done, he will be made a full member of the Bloodline. And that is, Roman has gotten Sami included in this number one contenders tournament. If Sami can win the tournament, get into the triple threat match, and help give Roman an easy ride on Royal Rumble night to retain the title, he will become a full member of the Bloodline. As you can see, he's in the main event there against... I guess I do it in the other way and then I sim in here. So I fucked up my own shit, but don't worry about it. So he's against Randy Orton in this tournament. Also in this tournament, Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens. Theory would probably have a promo trying to heat him up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because he's got something at Mania. I'll just say that right now. He had something at Mania for Mania 39 in real life too. It may or may not happen to be the exact same thing. Because it was written in the stars that match should probably happen while the other party can still go, because the other party inspired the one party to pursue wrestling, and the one party has tons of upside no matter what the internet trolls say. So anyways, Seth Rollins versus Malachi Black in another qualifier. So that's the 4 qualifying matches. The winners of these matches will face each other next week, and then blah 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 blah. So there you go. There's that incentive. From a Judgment Day point of view, let me flip my book just to make sure I don't miss anything. You know what I'm saying? I write all this shit out. Edge would be devastated for his loss at TLC, and once again, he can no longer challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship so long as Roman Reigns is the World Heavyweight Champion, as per the stipulation of the matchup. So he would tell Malachi Black, hey, you need to cash in that Money in the Bank tonight. Okay, I need this. That is the title that I never lost. It needs to be in the Judgment Day. I need it. You need to cash in tonight. And Malachi Black would say, nope, tonight's not the night. The timing's not right. I'm going to cash in when the time is right. Edge says, you know what? If you're not going to cash in, I'm going to go speak to the GM. I'm getting both of you, referring to Priest and Black, obviously, inserted into the number one contender tournament because I need that title. Rhea is the only one pulling her weight in the Judgment Day right now. All of us need to do better. You two especially need to pull your weight. And once again, I need this. I need this title. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. Speaking of Rhea Ripley, she's also got some stuff on the card that's a little bit separate from the Judgment Day. She's less involved in my booking than she was in real life booking of the Judgment Day, but also my Judgment Day is a little bit less comedic, I would say, because they don't have Dominic in handcuffs and the Dirty Dom stuff, which was super entertaining. But like I've said in episodes before, like Dominic will not be part of Judgment Day in my booking because he wasn't from my original booking. So there are some things that WWE ended up doing that I might, carry over because if they're really good and if the people are in a similar position after my booking. But for the most part, it's my booking ideas that I had back in 2022, even 2021, a little bit at the end of 2021 into the beginning of 2022 when the game came out. So yep. All right, man. So Rhea Ripley would have a promo celebrating her victory at TLC, and she would get cut off by a returning Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair has not been seen since SummerSlam when she lost the Loser Leaves SmackDown Iron Woman match. Lumberjill match against Sasha Banks. Charlotte says after some much needed time off, she's back in WWE and she has found a new home on Monday Night Raw. and she wants her spot back at the top of the mountain. Rhea says, nah, I'm good. Last time we all saw you, you were tapping out at SummerSlam and getting kicked off of SmackDown. So you can go to the back of the line. Nikki Cross would come out and she'd be like, hey, I don't care what you got going on, Charlotte. I'm not done with Rhea Ripley. I still need to break her neck. The general manager would come out and say, listen, okay, here's what we're going to do. Next week, Nikki Cross, Charlotte Flair, one-on-one. The winner gets Rhea Ripley for the title at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We are not calling them premium live events on my channel, even though that is a better description of the current product now, because you're not pay-per-viewing, because you're buying the streaming service and it's coming included in it, but it's a premium event that is live in the streaming service. I get the naming convention, but I'm stuck in my fucking ways, okay? I'm old. Let me be. Fuckhead. And another thing to point out on Raw this week, AJ and the Good Brothers would confront Finn backstage and be like, listen, man, yet another Masked Attacker appearance. Yet again, you're nowhere to be seen. You laughed it off last time, but like, what gives? You know, something's up here. Something doesn't feel right. What gives? Finn would say, listen, guys, I was on the treatment table with the doctor after my triple threat ladder match. By the time I saw that you were getting attacked, I was too far away to even make a difference. You guys had already run the coward off. Like, what was I supposed to do? Come out and just say, oh, hey, good job? Like, I was on the treatment table. And they'd be like, yeah, whatever, Finn. We gotta go, man. Good luck with that. And then they would kind of leave him high and dry a little bit. So, yeah. And then for the most part, that's Raw. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. So we'll go ahead and... how do I sim all this stuff? Oh, do I gotta sim in order? That's interesting. Okay, so Cody Rhodes will be defeating Damian Priest. Edge will try to help Priest win, and it'll end up actually distracting Priest. No, that isn't. Nope, never mind. I'm stupid. Don't worry about that. Cody wins clean. Cody wins clean, and Edge is very, very disappointed about that. So there you go. Actually, this match would happen after Seth and Malachi Black, but I mixed them up, the order. So, but that is important. So yeah, clean win for Cody. Kevin Owens defeats Austin Theory, once again clean. Malachi Black defeats Seth Rollins to advance to the next round. And then probably the main event of the evening, Sami Zayn defeats Randy Orton. And this one will also be clean. We're off to Bloodline would be ringside. But Riddle would also be ringside. Funny story, Riddle was on an indie show recently that I was helping out with, and I was doing the ring bell, and he did his sandal gimmick, and one of them came flying at me, and I caught it, kind of like Roman caught Brock's mic at SummerSlam, and we had a little moment where he's like, whoa, and I'm like, I got you, fam, and I like tipped his like sandal back at him. Wrestling's wild, man. I love wrestling so much, and the indie scene where I'm at in Canada is popping right now, which is really cool. But that doesn't really matter for this video, so let's keep it moving. That's Raw, and yeah, so clean win. Bloodline will be ringside, so it's not like, you know, one-on-one, nobody there, but it's, you know, Riddle's kind of there keeping an eye on them. A little bit of shenanigans here and there, but neutralized by Riddle kind of gimmick. And yeah, so that's Raw. Let's head over to SmackDown. Alright, and here we are for SmackDown, so let's get into it, dude. So, first match of the evening, and we'll get through promo stuff as well. First match of the evening is a Royal Rumble qualifying matchup, Pete Dunne versus Mansoor, with all their appropriate allies and whatnot surrounded by them. Match number 2 is Chad Gable versus Rick Boogs in a Alpha Academy tryout, somewhat. Obviously, Gable would market it as that. Rick Boogs is just there to shut up a loudmouth, but Yeah, Gable is still looking for a new addition to the Alpha Academy to team with Otis so he can focus on singles competition. Match number 3 is a European Championship match. Robert Roode versus William Regal. Basically, Robert Roode would seek out William Regal and say, hey, I know you're going around wrestling people you really want to wrestle. I want to tell you that I really want to wrestle you before you hang them up. What do you say, you and me tonight? Regal says, I'd be honored. And of course, I will put my European Championship on the line. Now, something that is very important with this match is one, Bobby Lashley, along with the Hurt Business, would be watching from his dressing room, very impressed at this matchup. So there you go. Match number 4 is a Women's Rumble qualifying matchup, Natalya versus Shayna Baszler. Match number 5 is a men's qualifying matchup, Buddy Murphy versus Jeff Hardy. And the main event of the evening is a number 1 contenders match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Io would come out gloating her victory. She would get cut off by Sasha Banks, and Sasha would say, hey, listen, you know what, man? I'm not out here to argue, to start anything. I'm out here to show you respect. We went to war at TLC. You were the better woman. You have my respect. You are the champion, deservedly so. But I'm going to get back to earning a shot at that title, and I want you to be ready for me because I'm not going to let you slip away with that title next time I get a chance, kind of thing. Bianca would then come out and be like, hey, man, that's cute. All about the respect. I'm still waiting for my one-on-one match with Io Sky. I'm still waiting for the match that she promised me that she would wait to have when she was Miss Money in the Bank. And then she cashed in, when I was vulnerable, and I still haven't had that one-on-one match. So when's that happening? The GM would come out and say, you know what? We do need a contender for Io Sky at Royal Rumble for the Women's Championship. And the GM has a match that they really want to see. Tonight, in a triple threat match in the main event of the evening, Bayley, Bianca Belair, and Sasha Banks will face off, and the winner will earn a shot at the Women's Championship. So there you go. In terms of promo stuff, one big one is a Drew Gulak PowerPoint. I forgot to mention during the Raw portion, all champions outside of the world champions get an automatic placement into the Royal Rumble. So European champion in the Rumble, Intercontinental and US champion in the Rumble, both tag team champions in the Rumble, kind of thing. The WWE and World Heavyweight champion in the SmackDown World and SmackDown whatever, Raw and SmackDown Women's, I haven't made that change yet actually. They are not in the Rumble, obviously, because they are the main prize of the Rumble. So more or less, Gulak would basically present a PowerPoint based on how he would survive the entire time in the match if he were to be drafted, if he were to be entered in at number 1. Basically, he's presenting his survival strategy. Kind of thing. So there you go, because he intends to win the Royal Rumble and become double champion, you know what I'm saying. But so that's the show. I believe that's everything. Like, there would be little things, like always, like with the gambling fucking ring with Corbin and Moss and shit, maybe taking bets on who's gonna be in the Rumble, who's gonna win the Rumble, who's gonna come in at number 1, shit like that, you know what I mean. But yeah, let's go ahead and start the show, simulate the matches so you guys can see who wins, who's qualifying for Rumbles, who's earning shots at titles, and all that stuff, and then we'll move on to the next week. Fuck that pyro shit, brother. Okay, so in the first match of the evening, we have Pete Dunne defeating Mansoor to qualify for the Royal Rumble match. In this match right here, we have Chad Gable defeating Rick Boogs. In this match right here, we have William Regal retaining the championship. Once again, Bobby Lashley and the Hurt Business from their dressing room would be watching this match, and Bobby Lashley specifically would be looking very impressed and sharing a look of being impressed with MVP, who would be like, yep, I agree, that shit was good, man. Obviously, these guys would have a banger. I think this was before Robert Roode had his neck injury that took him out for a little bit. It might not have been, but let's assume he's healthy still in my booking. And, him and Regal would have been able to cook up something if I gave them time. Like, Pete Dunne and Mansoor wouldn't be given much time, like definitely less than 10 minutes. This match would probably get less than 10 minutes. This match I'd probably try and give like 15 if possible because it's TV. This match definitely less than 10 minutes. Also, Shayna is going over fairly one-sided. Honestly, she can dominate the match. I don't care. She's dominating the match. This match would not get much time. Similar thing to Shayna. Like, Murphy's gonna kill Jeff Hardy basically and qualify for the Royal Rumble. And then in the main event of the evening, we would try and give these guys time to cook. Not too much time, but not pay-per-view time, but maybe like 15 minutes as well, like maybe 10 to 15 kind of gimmick. And there you go. So, and the woman winning this match and earning a shot at Io Sky at the Royal Rumble is Bianca Belair. So, there you go. That's week 1 of the Royal Rumble build in the books. Hopefully, my recording did not freeze. If it did, oh well, I can't afford a new capture card or a PC, so it is what it is. But let's go on to week 2. All right, week 2 Raw, baby. Let's get into it. All right, so we just got 3 matches to walk you through, but once again, there would be more qualifiers on the night. There would be other exhibition matches on the night. There are lots of tag teams on Raw that I don't feature in my videos because, again, we're just doing like the fucking pay-per-view relevant stuff happening on Raw, basically, on my video right now, at least until this Mania. Then we'll do both brands fully booked kind of thing for the next year. But yeah, there would always be like lots of tag team action over on Raw and shit. But anyways, let's get to it. So in terms of matches, we have the Nikki Cross. Once again, this is Sanity Nikki Cross, not this version, but the Community Creations is down, and I do not have the talent or time to make Nikki look like Sanity Nikki. So that's the best you get, and we're not doing Nikki ASH because that gimmick fucking sucked ass. So yeah, Nikki Cross, Charlotte Flair, number 1 contenders match. The winner faces Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship, at the Royal Rumble, and there you go. Second match of the evening is a tournament matchup, once again for the number 1 contender, I guess, shot at the World Heavyweight Championship to join Finn Balor in challenging the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. Kevin Owens versus Malachi Black. And then in the main event of the evening, we have Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes in the same tournament. And yeah, in terms of promo stuff, I think we just have the 1 or 2 things. Let me see. That's just a match result. So Finn Balor would come out and cut a promo saying, he doesn't know who the mystery attacker is. There's been a lot of accusations thrown around and a lot of suggestions made within the Bullet Club and outside of the Bullet Club. He just wants to put it out there. He doesn't know who the mystery attacker is. He doesn't know why they're targeting AJ and the Good Brothers, but not Finn Balor himself. But with all the uncertainties out of the way, the one certain thing he knows is that the attacker is a coward. And he says, as the leader of the Bullet Club, if you have a problem with those guys, you have a problem with me. So if you want to be a man, show some balls, come out here and we can solve that problem right now. And nobody comes out there. Finn waits a little bit and he's just like, okay, what can I do? And then he leaves the ring. So there you go. Before Malachi Black's match with Kevin Owens, Edge would be very angry with Damian Priest backstage, and he would turn to Malachi Black and say, hey, you need to deliver. I cannot stress enough, like I said last week, I need this championship in the Judgment Day, in my hands. I need this. It's the title I never lost. I need it, kind of thing. And there you go. And other than that, I think it's just the matches tonight. And I mean, there'd be little promo stuff here and there. Once again, there would be men's and women's qualifiers, but that is it for now. So we'll go ahead and start the show. We'll simulate the matches so you know who's winning, and then we'll move over to SmackDown. A lot quicker of an explanation this week than last week, huh? Damn. Okay, so we have Charlotte Flair defeating Nikki Cross to earn herself a shot at Rhea Ripley at the Royal Rumble. We have Kevin Owens defeating Malachi Black in this matchup. Now, Edge would try to ensure Malachi Black won. That's why I got mixed up last week. So last week, Malachi would have won against Seth. Then Priest would have had his match against Cody and lost. Edge was really upset with Priest, like I said earlier. And then this time he's like, you know what, man, Priest lost last week. I'm going to make sure that Malachi wins this week. And it ends up backfiring when Malachi maybe is setting up for Black Mass or something like that. And then he turns around into a stunner, pop-up powerbomb. 1, 2, 3, bada boom, bada bing. Kevin Owens advances to the finals of the tournament. For the number one contendership, or for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. And then in the main event of the evening, one Cody Rhodes versus one Sami Zayn. Solo would get involved. Sami wouldn't be part of Solo's involvement. Sami would probably be down. Solo would come out, Samoan Spike, Cody, and then walk away, and then Sami would like recover and see Solo and be like, what are you out here doing? And then he'd see Cody kind of rising up in the corner. He'd be like, well, shit, I gotta win the match, you know. Haluva kick, 1, 2, 3. He defeats Cody Rhodes to advance to the finals next week, which you know what that means if you're paying attention. Sami Zayn versus Cody Rhodes just happened. Sorry, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens next week on Raw. You know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen there? You know what I'm saying? There's lots of history right there. You know what I'm saying? Real life and kayfabe and WWE kayfabe and my kayfabe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's Raw for the most part. Once again, there would be qualifying matchups. There would be other random exhibition matchups. There would be matchups from people already qualified, maybe trying to get some reps in, trying to get some momentum. But yeah, so that's Raw. Let's head over to SmackDown. All right, here we are for SmackDown Week 2 of January on the build to Royal Rumble. Also, I can't remember. Well, I mean, I do know why I'm bringing it up because I just said build. Cody being like the build, as they say. Shut the fuck up. People have been saying that forever. Okay, don't gatekeep the term the build. The build is a thing in other mediums of entertainment. You fucking... I'm Miss Roman Reigns, okay? Yeah, let's get into the fucking night, okay? Let's go. Okay, so we'll go through the matches, and then we'll go through the booking, storylines, and all that shit. So, Tegan Nox versus Sonya Deville in a Women's Rumble qualifying matchup. This is an exhibition in the tag team division. Lucha House Party against Los Lotharios. There you go. Third match of the evening is a Rumble qualifying matchup. Mustafa Ali versus Sheamus. Once again accompanied by their respective parties. With Mustafa and Mansoor, they got kind of like they did in real life around the time briefly. They got like Mustafa Ali seeing potential in Mansoor, and he wants to guide him, but he's also kind of off-put by how fucking him he is, kind of thing. So he's like, let me show you how it's done against Sheamus this week. Pete Dunne would be like, hey, listen, I qualified. You pull your weight. You prove your worth. You qualify this week too. And Sheamus would be like, yeah, of course. Or whatever. Watch this. Watch me. Liv Morgan. You know what I'm saying? He and Liv Morgan talked about butt stuff on his fucking workout channel. You know what I'm saying? That's all I need, baby. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, so, Yeah, Sheamus versus Mustafa Ali. Fourth match of the evening, Buddy Murphy versus a local competitor, not Brian Kendrick, just a local competitor. I'll tell you the promo behind this as well right now. Basically, Buddy Murphy would go to the GM and say that he believes he's been underutilized on SmackDown since WrestleMania, and he thinks he deserves more opportunities, more matches, and he expects to get them soon. And the general manager says he'll put something together. We're about to go to commercial. I'll put something together real quick, and then, you know, you'll have a match tonight or something like that. And then he gets a match against a local competitor, which you can guess how that goes. Fifth match of the evening, Bayley versus Shotzi in a Women's Rumble qualifying matchup. And then in the main event of the evening, William Regal defends the European Championship against Dolph Ziggler. So, on paper, there would be another match tonight, but it does not go ahead. So we'll just talk about that real quick. Basically, Chad Gable versus Shinsuke Nakamura is scheduled for competition. Right before the bell rings, Gable grabs a mic. He says, you know what? Don't ring that bell. There's actually no reason for this match anymore. Alpha Academy tryouts are now closed. We actually found our newest member last week, and he showed me... He showed me one of his most valuable assets, which he will be bringing to the Academy, which was his mindset. Now, if you're an aficionado of Rick Boogs, you'll know that his mindset is one of his gimmicks, or character traits, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, on his YouTube channel. So I'm banking on people knowing that. Also, he would be saying it in promos throughout his tenure, throughout my booking. I don't know if I mentioned that early on or not. There are some things that I mention after the fact because I don't want to telegraph something. Because I'm telling shit that's happening, it's kind of one of the things where if I say it, it's okay, well, it matters. You know what I'm saying? Versus in real life, if somebody says something, it just becomes kind of their thing. But if I'm hey, this thing, and then it's okay, well, that thing's important, and then it's, I don't know, I just don't I don't want to give away where things are going sometimes, so I forego some information, and then retroactively I'm by the way, he would have been saying this the whole time. I just didn't say it because I didn't want to give it away. But maybe I did say his mindset was his thing. I don't know, man. I probably mentioned his mindset before. That's his gimmick anyways. After Chad Gable says his mindset, he would attack Shinsuke. The Alpha Academy would beat down Shinsuke. And Rick Boogs has now officially joined the Alpha Academy. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. So let's go ahead and start the show. Let's get through the matches, and then we'll move on to week 3 of the build, you know what I'm saying? The very common phrase used in fucking storytelling. You fucking... I miss Roman. Oh, man. Anyways, okay. So Sonya Deville will be defeating Tegan Nox to qualify for the Women's Royal Rumble. In this tag team exhibition match, Los Lotharios will be getting the victory against Lucha House Party. In this Rumble qualifying matchup, Sheamus will be defeating Mustafa Ali. This would be a squash match, less than a minute. Murphy basically destroys the local competitor, and he's okay, well, I won, but whatever, that was a local guy, that wasn't a challenge, and then he barely celebrates and then fucks off to the back. Shotzi versus Bayley. Bayley is going to be qualifying for the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, one thing before we get into the main event, Gulak would have yet another PowerPoint, this time explaining how he's going to eliminate people. Last week was staying in, this week is eliminating people. So there you go. Also, Bianca Belair would be interviewed backstage about finally getting a one-on-one match with Io like she's wanted for so long. Io would crash the interview, and she'd taunt her, trying to goad her into hitting her, but Bianca would just be you know what? I've got you at the Royal Rumble. I want to savor that moment at the Rumble. I'm good. You can wait. You can wait for this ass whooping. So there you go. And then, so this match kind of is multi-layered a little bit in a sense, as it's, yeah. Early in the night, William Regal would be walking around backstage, and he would bump into the almighty Bobby Lashley, with MVP probably and the rest of the Hurt Business walking backstage, and he'd be like, oh, you know, Mr. Lashley, nice seeing you. If you don't mind, I actually have to go that way. If you could kindly let me through, thank you very much, kind of thing. And then the Hurt Business would look at him as he walks by, and then they'd look at each other, and then they'd continue walking. Regal would find himself in the locker room or in the vicinity of Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, but specifically Robert Roode. He'd search him out. He'd thank him for their match last week. He'd say, that was a really challenging match. You pushed me to my limit. I enjoyed that very much. Thank you. It was an honor. While I'm here, and he would turn, Dolph, I'd very much like to have a match with you as well. So if you're not doing anything tonight, what do you say, you and me one-on-one? And of course, I will put this title on the line. Ziggler says, of course, absolutely, you've got it. See you out there. They would have the match. It would main event the show. Once again, Lashley and the Hurt Business would be watching this matchup. William Regal is going to successfully retain the championship. After he retains and he is celebrating, the camera would go backstage once again, and Lashley, to take us off the air, would turn to MVP and say, I want that championship in the Hurt Business. Go make it happen. And then we would go off air. So there you go. But yeah, that's second week of SmackDown. Let's move on to week 3. All right, here we are with week number 3 of the Royal Rumble build. You know what I'm saying? Here we go with Raw. Let's get into it. So this match right here would potentially open the show, at least from a match perspective. Maybe there would be a promo. Maybe we would just start with a match. I like mixing it up here and there. Now, this match, I said most qualifiers I wouldn't be featuring. For some reason, I just thought this would be a cool way to have a qualifier where it's a tag team match for 2 spots instead of a singles match for 1 spot. So Riddle, versus Miz and Morrison in a Rumble qualifying matchup. We have AJ Styles defending the United States Championship against Dominik Dijak. Now, this right here is basically AJ would come out, he'd cut a promo, he'd say, you know, as has been made evident, the United States Champion is in the Royal Rumble by default, and seeing as he's in the Rumble, he will not be defending the championship at the Royal Rumble, meaning he won't be fulfilling his 30-day, defense clause in his title reign, in his contract. So as a result, he will be holding an open challenge right now for the United States Championship, and Dijak would answer the open challenge. This would be like in the crossover between hour 1 to 2, you know what I'm saying? So between 8 to 9 p.m. kind of thing, pretty much 9 p.m. As the crossover to try and get some eyes feasting on the product, you know what I'm saying? I feel like these guys could cook, so there you go. That's why that's there. Third match of the evening is I forget what the actual name of it's called. I think it's been called a couple things, but a steel cage with weapons in it, a silent match, whatever the fuck it's called. Now, basically, Charlotte, let me see if she says anything specific in her promo. Let me see. Hold up. Charlotte would be starting to cut a promo on Rhea Ripley before Nikki would cut her off. Rhea Ripley would not be out there, but, you know, Charlotte would just be cutting her promo. Rhea Ripley would cut her, Nikki would cut her off and say, you know, Charlotte is actively preventing Nikki from getting her hands on Rhea Ripley, which now makes Charlotte an enemy of Nikki Cross. So now that she's an enemy too, she wants to get her hands on her inside of that. And then she would point up and it would be the steel cage with all the weapons on it tonight. And then Charlotte would be like, what the fuck? And the GM would be like, you know what? That sounds like a great match. Raw crowd, do you want to see that match? They'd say yes, because they want to see Charlotte get beat the fuck out of, even though she was just gone. Whenever she comes back, it doesn't feel like she was gone long enough, you know what I'm saying? And that's nothing to do with her. I'm booking her as a fucking title contender on my shit, because she's very fucking good and she'll have great matches. It's just the overexposure fatigue is just fucking real, man. But anyways, yeah, so we have those two in a weapons steel cage, whatever the fuck that is officially called. And then in the main event of the evening, the number one contenders final for the World Heavyweight Championship to join Finn Balor and Roman Reigns in triple threat at the pay-per-view. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn would backstage specifically request to the Bloodline to not get involved. He'd say, listen, you know, I saw afterwards, I didn't see while it was happening, but I saw afterwards that Solo got involved and he helped me out last week. And obviously, you have no idea how much I appreciate that. The support of you guys, of the Bloodline, you know, your support really makes me feel really good. I feel like I'm finding a place where I belong, thanks to you guys. I do ask that just tonight, if you could let me do this on my own. This is really personal between me and Kevin Owens. And I think I really like to do this on my own and just overcome him on my own. And just, please, just let me do this on my own. And they'd be like, yeah, man, you got it. Roman would be like, you know what, Sammy? You got it. You got it. Go get it. Go get it. But remember what I said. If you get in that match and you help me win, you're a full member. Okay? So go get the job done. Go get business done. So there you go. In terms of other promos, Finn Balor would approach AJ and the Good Brothers after the open challenge and say, you know, he spoke to the GM as the leader, and he got the Bullet Club through the Good Brothers another shot at the World Tag Team titles next week on Raw. They would kind of dispute the leader thing, but they'd say, listen, like, we saw you go out there last week, and just we appreciate you going out there and setting the record straight. But once again, this leader thing, you know, like, we got to get that out of their heads. You know, there's no leader. It's just, we're us. You know what I'm saying? Bring it in, home slice. Edge would be furious with the Judgment Day backstage, berating them, saying that they failed him. And he'd be like, listen, enough is enough. We tried to do it the tournament way. Malachi, cash in your briefcase. And then Malachi would be like, listen, Edge, I had Kevin Owens beat last week before you got involved, and then it fell apart. I have a plan for when I will be cashing in this Money in the Bank. Let me do it on my own. You've seen that when I do things on my own, I deliver. Just be patient. I know the right time to cash this in. Edge would be like, you know what, nah, man, no. You know what, if you guys aren't going to pull your weight over on Raw while you guys twiddle your thumbs, I'm going to get a qualifying match next week. I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to go over to SmackDown and win their World Championship, and then maybe that'll motivate you guys to get off your ass and win the World Championship that I need back in my hands, the title that I never lost, or some shit like that. And then there you go. And let's see. Cody would cut a promo calling out Solo Sikoa, and Solo Sikoa would come out and attack him from behind and leave him laying out. Not a brawl, just an attack. And bada boom, bada bing. There you go. I think that's more or less what we need to know. So let's go ahead and start the show, sim the matches, and then we will head over to SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? Alright, man. Skip that bullshit. Okay, so Rated RK Bro are going over. They're qualifying for the Rumble. AJ Styles is successfully retaining his United States Championship. Charlotte Flair is defeating Nikki Cross inside the Asylum match, and then Kevin Owens is winning the match against Sami Zayn. After this happens, we would cut backstage to the Bloodline's locker room, and Roman would be furious. He would smash his TV. He'd be tearing shit up in the locker room, throwing chairs, throwing suitcases, breaking walls, and just being like, I let him do it on his own one time. I asked him for one thing, and he can't deliver that. And he'd look at like the Usos and Paul and be like, and this is the guy you want in the Bloodline? This is the guy? And he'd kick some more shit. Because once again, in my booking, I've explained Roman is the one hesitant about getting him in. It's not like a Roman likes him, but Jay doesn't kind of thing. It's the rest of the guys like him. Roman's hesitant on letting him in kind of thing. So, but yeah, there you go. That's it all. You know what I'm saying? So with that in the books, let's head over to SmackDown. All right, here we are with SmackDown. Without further ado, let's get through it, dude. So, Sasha Banks versus Peyton Royce in a Rumble qualifying matchup there in the first match of the evening. Second match of the evening, Buddy Murphy gets booked against yet another local competitor. However, this time, after winning the match in very quick fashion, less than a minute, he takes the initiative of brutally destroying the dude after the bell is done. We would probably go to commercial. We'd come back from commercial, and he would like storm into the GM's office and be like, "Hey, that was a message to you when I said you're underutilizing me and I want more competition. I meant real competition, not bums you found out across the street. I expect to have a real match with a top-level opponent next week, or else." And then he walks off. I mean, brother, I know I spoiled him beating him, but come on. Match number 3 is a Rumble qualifying matchup: Shinsuke Nakamura versus Chad Gable. You know what I'm saying? Next match is a tag team match, exhibition match: Mustafa Ali and Mansoor versus the Familia Misterio. There you go. Match number 5 is a Rumble qualifying matchup: Ridge Holland versus Drew McIntyre. It's still awful. Once again, Brawling Brutes, they, 2 of them qualified, and now they're like, hey, you've got to qualify. And then Ridge is like, yeah. And then that's it. But yeah, they try and hype him up, but Drew McIntyre would be a tall task for him, you know what I'm saying? And then in the main event of the evening, we have the the European Championship being defended against Brendan Khabib. Now, we've got a lot of shit to get there, so we will get there. But let's go ahead and start the show, run through the matches, run through some of the promo segments, and then... or we'll do the promos now, I guess. Gulak would have yet another PowerPoint presentation. Last week was how he would avoid elimination. 2 weeks ago was how he would avoid elimination. Last week was how he would eliminate people. And then this week would be about how he would preserve his energy, or something like that, maybe, to be able to Iron Man it if he so needed to. So there you go. And then there would be a contract signing between Io Shirai and Bianca Belair for the Women's Championship at Royal Rumble, SmackDown Women's Championship, that is. Io would start a brawl, which would finish in Bianca hitting a KOD through the table, which would incapacitate Io so greatly that a medical team would have to come out and stretcher her out of the arena. So there you go. Now, in terms of what leads to this matchup right here, at the beginning of the show, or in one of those earlier tonight kind of things early on, it would show William Regal arriving to the arena, and he would be greeted by MVP, who would say, "The Almighty would like a word, please follow me." We would go to the locker room, and Lashley would sit Regal down and be like, "Hey man, listen, since reviving that title, the European Championship, and bringing it back to the WWE, you've elevated that title to be worth so much that it is now a primary objective of the Hurt Business to obtain that championship and add it to our ranks. And it just so happens that we have a perfect candidate to do that job for us right here, our prized prodigy, Brendan the Omega Kobina. Regal would be like, listen, I appreciate the kind words and the praise you've bestowed upon me and the hard work I've done to elevate this championship. However, I must decline. No disrespect to the young lad, but I've got other competitors at the top of my list that I would like to face before I hang it up. And respectfully, once again, he is not on that list. And since he has not earned a shot at the title through competition already, I'm not obligated to defend it against him. So I am respectfully declining the proposition or the request. And then Lashley would be like, yeah, that's disappointing. But there is more to my pitch. Regal, I want to face you before you hang it up, whenever that may be. As a matter of fact, I want to face you at the Royal Rumble, and I want to put my WWE Championship on the line against you. But only if you defend your European Championship against Brendan Kobina tonight. Not next week, not after the Rumble, not 2 months from now. Tonight. We need a decision by the end of the night. If you put your European Championship on the line against Brendan Kobina in the main event of SmackDown tonight, then I will put my WWE Championship on the line against you at the Royal Rumble. Let us know your answer. And then, Regal would eventually come back and he'd be like, I accept, see you later tonight. So there you go. So let's go ahead and start the show. Let's get through the results and shit like that. And then we'll move on to week number 4, you know what I'm saying? We could skip all that bullshit. Alright, so Sasha Banks is qualifying for the Women's Royal Rumble. Once again, Buddy Murphy is destroying the local talent and squashing him and then destroying him. Chad Gable, in a competitive matchup, because this is the turn of the hour, is going to defeat Shinsuke Nakamura to qualify for the Royal Rumble matchup. The tag team of Familia Misterio is going to defeat Mansoor and Ali. Drew McIntyre is going to qualify for the Royal Rumble by defeating Ridge Holland. And in the main event of the evening, the European Championship will change hands and be won by Brendan Kobina. Now, the way this happens is it ends up more or less being a handicap match unofficially. As the shenanigans get really ramped up, the Mysterios would run down to the ring to neutralize Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. They would maybe fight back up the ramp to the back as the referee is distracted trying to get that cleared up, because they'd be at ringside, yeah, and then the ref would step out of the ring to clear things up. Regal would be looking outside of the ring, what the fuck? He would turn around into a huge spear by Bobby Lashley, and then maybe another spear, maybe 2 spears by Lashley, and then Lashley would drag Kobina, because Kobina would have probably just taken a Regal Plex or something big. He would drag Kobina onto Regal. MVP would get the ref's attention again. The ref would slide back in. 1, 2, 3. And new European champion, Brendan Kobina. The reign of William Regal comes to an end after however many months. Great run. New champ. Let's keep it moving. Acknowledge the tribal chief. Acknowledge the tribal chief. Acknowledge the fucking tribal chief. You better fucking acknowledge. Alright, here we are with a SmackDown. Nope, that's not right. We're here with Raw. Let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I said it like that, though. But I mean, let's just fucking, whatever. Let's get into it. So, we got, this isn't an actual match. It's literally a brawl, so I put it as a backstage brawl just to fucking, why not? Cody finds Solo backstage, attacks him. It's a pull-apart brawl. The whole roster gets involved. The general manager's like, you know what, man? You guys want to fight so bad? Do it at the Royal Rumble, one-on-one. The winner gets put in to the Royal Rumble later that night. So, sorry, it's, you know, it's acknowledge your tribal chief. So there you go. But this match is actually just a brawl. Edge versus Austin Theory in a Rumble qualifying matchup. Edge would force Priest and Malachi Black ringside with him to make sure that they watch and gain inspiration and learn from what he does, because they obviously, in his words, are not doing what needs to be done. And he more so looks at Black, and then looks at the briefcase. And then in maybe the main event, maybe not. I guess by default, because it's the biggest match of the night. The World Tag Team titles are on the line. Bullet Club challenging the Usos for the World Tag Team Championships. In terms of promos and stuff, we have Roman would be absolutely furious once again with Sami Zayn. He'd be berating him. Sami would look terrified, and he'd be like, okay, you know what? I let my emotions get the better of me. I apologize. I'm a better leader than that. I'm very upset, but there is a way that you can fix this. There is a way that you can fix this, and it's by making it right at the Royal Rumble. And if you make it right at the Royal Rumble, we can get back on track. But if you can't, then there's a lot to consider. Or some shit like that. Just something really simple like that. Or just, you know, you better make it right at the Royal Rumble or else. Or something like that. You know what I mean? Just super, super simple. There you go. There would probably be a big promo in the ring where each man makes their case in the triple threat match. Roman, Kevin Owens, and Finn Balor. They all cut a promo, like three-way promo to hype up the match kind of thing. People could take shots about different things, about the Masked Attacker, about the Bullet Club falling apart, about Sami Zayn, about Kevin Owens, about anything. You know what I'm saying? Just cut a promo, drop some intrigue for the match, even though there should already be some, because it's three high-level guys in two pretty intriguing, I would say, storylines. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? In terms of Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte build, Rhea would cut a promo where on Charlotte, saying, you know, 3 years ago at WrestleMania 36, Charlotte almost derailed Rhea's entire career, and it took everything, every ounce of effort and blood, sweat, and tears in Rhea Ripley to get her career back on track. And this time, Rhea will not be derailed, and instead she will get revenge for what Charlotte did 3 years ago, kind of thing. And then, bada boom, bada bing. I think that's everything. Once again, there would be more qualifiers throughout the rest of the roster, tune-up matches, all that shebang. So let's go ahead, let's simulate these shits, and then we'll get over to SmackDown for the go home, and then the pay-per-view will be its own episode. You know what I'm saying? With fancy match graphics and fancy theme song for the pay-per-view and all that stuff, and then I'll play the matches, which will be a long episode because there's 2 Rumbles. Which I might cut highlights of, honestly, just to make the video a bit shorter, but maybe I'll be lazy and maybe I won't have time. So yeah, anyways, let's fucking, I wish I could do a draw. Let's Cody, I guess, because he initiates the brawl. Edge is going to defeat Theory to qualify for the Royal Rumble. Once again, he cannot challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship so long as Roman Reigns is the champion. But if he were to win the Royal Rumble, he would have his choice of the WWE Championship, NXT, I guess. And then if Roman Reigns were to lose the title at the Royal Rumble or thereafter, before Mania, he would be able to challenge for the title that he never lost when he retired initially back in 2011. And then in the main event of the evening, that three-way promo would probably end off the show, but this match would probably be the match before that kind of thing. And we have the world tag team titles being defended successfully by the Bloodline. Once again, this match was put together because Finn went and got the title shot for the Good Brothers, but once again, 30-day clause. They're not defending the titles at the Rumble. Since the last time they've done it, they had to defend every 30 days kind of thing. That's part of my booking because then you have a reason for a title match regularly. You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go. That's Raw. Let's move it over to the Go Home SmackDown. Alright, here we are with the Go Home SmackDown, you know what I'm saying. Let's get into it. So, in terms of matches, we would start the show off with this match. No promos or anything. It would just be Buddy Murphy's entrance. Commentary would put over Buddy Murphy asked for serious competition last week. Let's see if the GM delivers. Drew McIntyre's music hits, and these two open up the show with a match. Second match of the evening is a qualifying match for the Royal Rumble triple threat. Mia Yim versus Tamina versus Xia Li. In the third match of the evening, the WWE Tag Team Championships are being defended once again, like the World Tag Team titles on Raw. 30-day clause will not be completed at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view itself, so they're doing it on SmackDown. The Mysterios got involved, attempting to save William Regal from the numbers game last week. They got a win over Ali and Mansoor as well, so they have a win under their belt. The general manager put this match together. The fourth match of the evening is four women who have already qualified for the Royal Rumble, facing off to see if somebody can get some momentum going into the matchup. Shayna Baszler, Bayley, Sonya Deville, and Sasha Banks. Next match is Liv Morgan versus Billie Kay in a Rumble qualifying matchup. And then in the main event of the evening, in terms of matches, there's a promo to go home, which we'll get to. We have the Intercontinental Championship, Drew Gulak, Pete Dunne, Sheamus. One thing I forgot to mention during week 3, so I'll mention it now. After Gulak's PowerPoint on week 3, the general manager would interrupt him and say, "Hey Gulak, you're putting a lot of effort into these PowerPoints. We can all tell, more than you are in wrestling right now. However, that's going to change next week. You're not going to have time to do a PowerPoint next week because you will not be defending that title at the Royal Rumble, which means your 30-day defense clause would lapse and you would have to be vacated. So, next week, you will be defending your title in a match that will be decided later on tonight." Pete Dunne would go ask for a match, Sheamus would go ask for a match, and Ridge would go ask for a match because he's there with them, and they'd be like, "Ridge, you lost. Fuck off. We've won recently." And then they'd start like pushing each other, shoving. Maybe they'd start like fucking throwing forearms and shit at each other, you know what I'm saying? And then the GM would be like, whoa, guys, not in my office. Come on. Look, you can both have the match. It's a triple threat next week. Please, if you're going to fight, keep it out of my office, okay? I don't get how you guys fight and then go fucking hug after, but just don't do it in my office, please. I got valuables on the desk, shit like that. And then they'd be like, okay, you got it. So this match is set up. In terms of promos and stuff this week, we have a Gable promo where he says now that he can fully focus on singles competition after finding Otis a tag team partner, he will go on to win the Royal Rumble. He will go on to main event WrestleMania and win either the WWE or the World Heavyweight Championship. Thank you. One big thing, especially, is there would be an update to the Royal Rumble card. There would be a promo of some sort, maybe a backstage interviewer declaring the news. It would be mentioned that Io Shirai suffered injuries last week at the hands of Bianca Belair that have resulted in her not being cleared to compete at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Hence, her match against Bianca Belair will be postponed to a later date when she can get cleared. So there you go. Obviously, there would still be the gambling ring and people taking bets and maybe people trying to pawn off their fucking, Corbin could go up to people and be like, hey, look at the pot I have on the Rumble. Half of that's yours if you give me your spot in there. You know what I mean? It's just simple stuff like that to get the gambling ring gimmick over. The thing that would take us home would be the VIP lounge with the guest William Regal. Lashley would say basically throughout his promo, he's got a lot of respect for Regal. Regal's done a lot for this business, but Regal's old and he's frail and he's all alone and he's at the end of the road because there's a road stop. There's a dead end named Bobby Lashley. The Almighty will retire William Regal at the Royal Rumble, and he'll take the accolade of retiring one of the greatest to ever do the wrestling thing, you know what I'm saying? Regal would cut an impassioned promo saying, you know what, you better bring the Almighty, you better bring the Destroyer, you better bring the Walking Armageddon, because you're going to need all of that to beat me. I have a shot at the title that I never had a chance to win before. Tonight, I have a title that I dedicated not only my career, but my entire life to chasing, and I have a shot this Sunday. I think we're still doing Sundays in my kayfabe at this moment, to win that, to make everything worth it, to prove myself, to cement my name in the history books as one of the greatest to ever do it. You better believe, old or not, frail or not, alone or not, I'm going to give you every ounce of violent venom that is left flowing through my veins to win that championship. You say you're going to retire me? You're going to have to damn near kill me to prevent me from winning that championship. You're going to have to beat me within an inch of my life to prevent me from winning that championship. Because with that championship on the line and all the years in this business on the line, that is what it's going to take for you to stop me from leaving there with that championship in my hands. You are going to have to kill me. Or some shit like that. Just to put over how much it means to Regal. And then we would go off the air with that, with a tense stare down or some shit off the back of that. And then I believe that is everything. So let's go ahead and simulate the matches, and then we'll tell you what the official Royal Rumble card is, and then we'll end off this episode. You know what I'm saying? Shut the fuck up. Shut up, dude. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Fuck off. Okay, here we are. Buddy Murphy versus Drew McIntyre. Buddy Murphy would win this match. I would give these guys hopefully a little bit to cook. You know what I'm saying? These guys would get a decent amount of time to cook. Maybe like 10 to 15 if possible. This match would not get that much time. It would basically be like they try and take out the big man, or the big woman in this case. Big woman overpowers them. They eventually get the big woman out of the equation with probably a table bump. I know it's early in the night, but fuck it. We'll have two announced tables. The French announced table team or the Spanish announced table team can fucking eat one. They incapacitate Tamina, and then they have like a little mini match. If they could fit that in less than 10 minutes, fucking by all means. The winner of this matchup and qualifying for the Royal Rumble is Xia Li. Tag team titles on the line at the turn of the hour. You know what I'm saying? The Hurt Business defending against the Familia Misterio. We've seen this before. It would have humped. We're seeing it again, and it would hump again, and the Hurt Business would successfully retain yet again. Clean, as clean as heels can be. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's not a fucking dusty finish. It's a clean finish by heels. So they successfully retain their titles in what should be a banger. Fatal 4-way match to gain some momentum going into the Royal Rumble. Shayna Baszler, there you go, wins this matchup. Liv Morgan will defeat Billie Kay to qualify for the Royal Rumble match. And then in the main event of the evening for the Intercontinental Championship, Drew Gulak defends his title against the Brawling Brutes duo of Sheamus and Pete Dunne. This match more or less would go of the structure of Drew Gulak trying to avoid fucking fighting at all costs, letting them fight amongst each other. They would start fighting amongst each other, and then they'd be like, wait, what the fuck? What are we doing? Let's get him. Or it would be them fighting amongst each other and then him trying to pick his piece and they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then they'd beat him a bit, let him leave the ring, and then they'd fight some more amongst each other. Eventually, Pete Dunne would have the match won against Drew Gulak. Sheamus would break up the pin. Pete Dunne would be like, what the fuck, man? Eventually, shortly thereafter, we get to Sheamus having a pin, Pete Dunne breaking it up. What the fuck, man? Whatever. They argue. Gulak goes for an O'Connor roll on Sheamus, who gets pushed into Pete Dunne as they're arguing. Pete Dunne leaves the ring. O'Connor roll to roll up Sheamus for Drew Gulak to retain the Intercontinental Championship going into the Royal Rumble. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? That match, not only was the Intercontinental Championship at stake there, if Gulak were to have lost that match, he would technically lose his place in the Rumble because he only had it as a result of the Intercontinental Championship. The other two had already qualified outside of that, so they would have just gained a championship. He would have lost a spot in the Rumble as well as the championship that he's done a good job of building up since winning it. So there you go. So that's the Go Home SmackDown. Let's go to Royal Rumble. Let's set up the fucking match card, and then we'll end off the episode. What the fuck is this? Is there a takeover? No, this is the Rumble. Oh, they just snuck. Okay, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Let's see what the AI one is. They would probably have their own takeover on NXT, I'm not going to lie to you. Men's Rumble, for me, is actually main eventing. Nope. No. The game loves booking Drew versus Lashley. It's like every week they book this, title or non-title. 2/3 right. And then the women's to main event. Okay, so we're going to edit the matches like this, right? And here's what we're going to do. Oh, that's a cool background. Okay, so how many matches is this? 6? And I have 6? That works out perfect. Cool, man. Okay, so the first match of the evening is this one right here. Boom, boom. No, it's not. What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I doing? First match is the 30 Women Royal Rumble. Who's the first woman? Who's the first woman that appears? Sure, man. Fucking, why not? It's definitely not her, but that's what we'll do for now. It's the Women's Rumble. I don't even know how to change the competitors, so I'll have to figure that out off camera. Second match of the evening is going to be Cody versus Solo. Why am I setting this up here? I'll just tell you the match card. What am I doing? What am I doing here, fellas? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's back out of this. Fuck that shit. Whatever. Okay. Royal Rumble match card is Naomi is, spoiler alert, she's not winning the Women's Rumble. I don't know why. I'm assuming that's who the AI is going to have win this one, or they just pick a random person to go on the thumbnail who's in the match or something. I don't really know. Okay. Match number 1, the Women's Royal Rumble. Match number 2, Cody versus Solo. The winner goes into the Men's Royal Rumble. Match number 3, William Regal facing Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Match number 4, Charlotte Flair challenging Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. And match number 5, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then in the main event of the evening, we have the Men's Royal Rumble match. That is the match card for Royal Rumble. Stay tuned for that, coming somewhat soon within the next 3 business years. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed the build to the Royal Rumble. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, share it to all your friends, comment down below, all that good shit. Make sure to put predictions in the comments as well, I guess, for the Rumble. And I'll see you guys next time.